All right, I also wanted to record a little video to remind you about the importance of the way that you're organizing your research notes and the particular format that I'm looking for when you turn them in. So I'm going to share my screen again, and I'm going to show you the page from the handout packet that I gave you with the instructions about how to get your research notes organized. So again, I'd like to remind you that this is a very time-consuming part of the process. And so once you've identified your topic outline, and your sources, you'll start to read through your sources. And as you come across a fact within your source that you think is relevant, that you think would be something that you would likely want to include in your final paper, you're going to, at that point, already write it down, not in the format of a paper. You're not writing your paper yet. You're just organizing the information. But you're not just going to randomly write down one fact after the other, but instead you're going to organize by the different topics that you have in your topic outline. So an example topic outline that I had given was about a paper about volcanoes in Hawaii, or in particular the Kilauea volcano. I had these different topics in my topic outline. So now when I go to start writing my research notes, I have each of the topics in my topic outline in bold. And then as I'm reading along in different sources, I am coming across facts that I think are interesting and I'm writing them down. So I found a fact in one source that says Kilauea is one of the most active volcanoes on the earth. I think I might want to include that. So I write that, and I've decided that it fits in my general intro area. So I'm not writing it as a sentence. I'm not copying it word for word from my source. I'm not copying and pasting it from a website. I'm just writing it briefly in my own words. I can misspell things. It doesn't need to be in complete sentences. And then I'm at the end giving myself an indication of the source from which I got that fact. So in this case, I'm just using a shorthand, which will not be the same as my formal citation that I end up using in my paper. But HCV, I know, stands for the Hawaii Center of Volcanoes. So that took me an extra 5 seconds to write in or less. And now I know where that fact came from. Then I read on through that source, the Hawaii Center for Volcano source, and I find another fact that tells me that the Pacific Plate is a tectonic plate, and it's moving about 5 to 10 centimeters per year. And I have decided that those facts are important, but they're not general info. They instead are more specific info about how hotspot volcanoes work. So it doesn't matter if you know about hotspot volcanoes, but the point is that I'm recording that information now in a new topic area. I'm writing it in my own words, not in complete sentences necessarily, and I'm recording the source that I got that fact from. And even if I have 2 facts in a row that are from the same source, I'm recording the source both times because I might not remember that weeks from now when I'm writing my paper. And certainly somebody else who's reading through my research notes wouldn't necessarily know that. So you need to continue to record your source for every single fact that you write down. So I would continue to do this and read through different sources. Maybe I finish my Hawaii Center for Volcanoes reading through that website. Then I go to my next website, the Hawaii Volcano Observatory website, and I read a bunch of facts in the first paragraph that are pretty general of that website, and I decide to record all of them in my first general intro category. But again, even though I have several facts in a row from the same source, I'm including a source at the end of every single fact. But then some sources from that website, I might decide to include in other parts of my outline. Let's see if I have a Hawaii Volcano Observatory fact somewhere else. I probably do. Okay, anyway, down here, I have some Hawaii Volcano Observatory facts that I found on the same website that I've recorded in a different area of my outline, down here in the current activity part. So you're going to be moving these facts around. This is much easier to do on the computer than anywhere else, although you can do it in a notebook. If you're doing it in a notebook, you could just write a topic on the top of a blank page. And then as you read, you could record facts into each blank page that has the specific topic heading that you're interested in looking at. So you can record your notes on paper if you prefer, but it's just easier to format stuff if you have access to do it on the computer. So you're going to be working on this. This is going to be a time-consuming part of your paper. You have to have at least 5 sources. Many of you will have more. And ultimately, your paper is going to have very little analysis of this information. This is a scientific research report. So you're reporting on what is known, not your opinion about what's known. And so you basically need to write a 5 to 6 page research report. You need to have about 5 to 6 pages of content to report on. So you need to have about 5 single space page, or sorry, 5 double space pages of research notes, or more like 3 single space pages of research notes. If you have a little bit less than that, you might be fine. If you have a lot less than that, then you are not done with your research part, and you need to keep working. So this, again, is a time-consuming part of your research, but this is the part where you do the real learning. And once you've done this, then you will be really well poised to turn this into a paper, because you already have groups of facts organized basically into what will be paragraphs, or a couple different paragraphs of each topic. You know the sources for the information that you're going to put in those paragraphs. And so the actual writing of the paper should go a whole lot faster if you've done this right. And some of you might feel like you could skip this step and move right into writing the research paper as you're doing the research. And that may be true as you write a 5 to 6 page paper, but that may not be true as you move on in school and are trying to write a 20 or 50 page research paper. So I'm interested in understanding that you can do this process of collecting and organizing information. And I'm giving you a grade for turning in notes in this particular format. Okay, this is what I'm looking for. And some of you may already have been jumping ahead and maybe have even started to collect information in a more paper format. That's fine, but make sure, look at that paper, kind of pull it apart, and make sure that each fact you have within a different paragraph, you could put a heading on that paragraph or group of paragraphs that is associated with a topic, and make sure that all the facts within that paragraph or paragraphs are associated with that topic. If they don't belong there, then move them to a different area, and make sure that you're having a source associated with every single fact that you're listing. So you might need to do a little bit of work pulling apart your paper to make sure that you have all this information properly organized. But then again, you'll be really well poised to kind of pull back together your paper into a final draft, or a rough draft first. Okay, that's what I wanted to share.